Hi, I'm Sandra White, and many of you have been to one or more of my cooking classes, and some of you remember me, but there may be some of you that are new. So tonight we're going to make cream of broccoli and cauliflower soup, and I'm so happy that you came. For our cream of broccoli and cauliflower soup, we will need the following ingredients: 1½ cups of onion, 1 rounded tablespoon of minced garlic, or 3 large cloves will be about that much. We need 3½ cups of water, plus 3½ tablespoons of our chicken type seasoning. Tonight I'm using McKay's chicken seasoning. You're not going to be able to find that in Hong Kong. So you need to use, remember we talked about ox and we talked about Knorr's vegetable cube. We're going to use the Knorr's vegetable cube for our chicken seasoning. Also, if you prefer, at Fusion near the college, that park and shop, you may find a can or carton of vegetable chicken broth. You can use that. Vegetarian chicken broth. It comes in a can or a carton, so you can look for it on the shelves. Then we also need to use thyme, and we need to use parsley, and we need, let me see, some bay leaves. They look like this, bay leaves, and we need tofu. You can find this kind of tofu in Hong Kong. The title is Moringa. See the big M in the corner? And the title, the brand is Moringa. Now, if you prefer, I know this is more expensive, so if you want to find another kind of soft tofu, you can use that. Just be sure you have 12 ounces, because that's what you'll need for your recipe. But if you want to have the same thing as what I have here, the package may look a little different, but it'll have red and white on it, like this, and it'll have this same name. Let me see what else is here. Oh, also we need curry powder. When we're all done, we're going to add a little curry to it. So let's begin. I've chopped my onions, and my garlic is minced, and I have it here in the pan. The recipe itself calls for 2 tablespoons of margarine or butter, but we prefer to have less fat. So what we're going to do, instead of getting our onion soft in the butter, we're going to add our 3½ cups of water to our onion and garlic here. Then I'm going to add 3½ tablespoons of this McKay's chicken seasoning. You're going to be adding probably 4 cubes of the Knorr's, or rather than water, if you get the broth, if you get the vegetable broth in the carton or can, you want to put in 3 cups of it. Then we need our parsley. It's about 1/8 of a cup. You need 1/2 teaspoon of thyme. Thyme. So sprinkle that in. And then you need 2 bay leaves. They look like this. And this is the way it'll look in Hong Kong too. I think McCormick is what you have there. So I'll add 1, 2 leaves. Then we need to add our broccoli and our cauliflower. I've already chopped it up, and it's 5 cups of chopped broccoli and 2 cups of cauliflower. So we'll put that into our soup mixture here. I think you'll find that the amount of broccoli you need is contained in 2 large stalks of broccoli. So we'll stir that all up and get ready to cook it on the stove. It takes about 15 minutes of boiling, and then we'll be ready for the next step. Okay, our soup has finished cooking now, and it looks about like that. You don't want to put your bay leaves into your blender, so you want to dig them out, but you can't always find them. They like to hide those little leaves. They change color, and they look so much like the soup now that they're hard to find. So just be careful as you're taking the soup out. First, we're going to take our tofu and we're going to put it inside our blender. We've gotten an extra bowl here because the soup is more than 1 container full. If it was only 1 container, then you could put it back in the pan. So we brought a bowl out so that we could put a little at a time here. You only want to do a little of your soup at a time, and I'm watching as I go for those little bay leaves. Oh, here's one of them, right here. So I have 1 to go. I'll put the lid on here, and I'll start out on a low speed so that the ingredients don't blow the lid off all over the place because it's hot. So that's some creamy, but we don't want it that creamy. We want our soup to look more green. So we'll keep blending until it's all blended. Little at a time, remember, so that you don't have a mess. Still looking for bay leaves. 1 more. Hope I find it. I don't know. I don't think I've ever ground one up in the blender, but maybe it wouldn't harm you. Try to get them out. We'll continue to add until we've done all of our soup. Trying to think, if you don't have a blender, how you could make this. And I think while your soup would probably be more chunky than this is, you could do it with a mixer if you have one. Okay, here's our other bay leaf hiding. If you made your tofu very smooth with a mixer, and then you took a masher or maybe your mixer and tried to make your vegetables mush up, maybe you'll want to cook them a little longer or something. You have to experiment if you don't have a blender to see how smooth you can make your soup without one. So here, this is our last bit of soup to blend. So now we have mixed it all together. And we're going to pour it back into our pan. There's one more seasoning that we need to add, and that is a little curry powder. The recipe calls for 1½ teaspoons of curry powder. If you like curry, if you like your curry strong, put the 1½ teaspoons in. I don't, so I put ½ teaspoon in. And it just gives a nice flavor of the curry, but you don't get the hot spiciness of it. But you can do it to suit yourself. After we've added the curry, then we put it back on the stove and bring it to hot again. You probably don't want to boil it up because if you boil it, it will curdle a little. So here we have yummy cream of broccoli and cauliflower soup. I hope that you enjoy it as much as I do.